Federal High Court sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, has restrained the governor of the state, Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, from seeking another term in office. Justice Toyin Bolaji Adegoke, who presided over the suit in a judgment delivered earlier today, held that the 1999 Constitution does not provide for a situation whereby an elected president, vice president, governor, or deputy governor would spend more than 8 years in office. Governor Aiyedatiwa was sworn in on 27th of December 2024 to complete the tenure of his late boss, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. Again, Governor Aiyedatiwa was sworn in on the 24th of February 2025 after winning the November 16, 2024 governorship election in the state. A member of the APC was the one who went to court, is Dr. Akin Egbu Walo, who filed a suit against Governor Aiyedatiwa, his deputy, and the APC over the eligibility issues of the governor to contest for another time in office. Well, Justice Adegoke has held that only the fact that the governor is not eligible to run for another office and cannot stay more than 3 years based on the provision of the 1999 Constitution in Section 137, Sub 3. I'm now being joined by the Executive Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean.
I appreciate it.
For having me.
Thank you. I'm very well, sir. Let me begin by asking you, how does this judgment of the Federal High Court come to you? And this is not, there is another judgment that came from Abuja. The court is giving its position. This is the second time in just about a week or so that the court is going to be making its position known. How does this come to you?
Thank you, Sean, for having me and for this time to just clear the air of sanitary things as regards to this matter. First of all, let me try to establish certain truth so that the generality we have clear understanding of what has been and what is now. Because a lot have been said on the social media, a lot of insinuations and opinions from different people trying to be economical with the truth for some political reasons. But the truth is, I have never at any time declared to the public that I'm going to contest an election. I haven't just been sworn in about a year ago. So it is not time for any other governorship election in this state. There is no timetable, there is no scheduling of any form of election. I have not expressed any interest at any given time that I'm going to run an election into the office of the governor again, because it is not yet time. So that has first of all been established. I have not shown any interest. I have not got a nomination for. There is no timetable. So there is no cause of action as far as I'm concerned. That is one. Secondly, I did not approach the court to seek for eligibility to contest for an election. I did not approach the court. So it wasn't a move from my end. But some people, for some political reason, decided to approach the court to seek clarity in my eligibility for an election that is still futuristic, coming up in 2028 or 2029's assumption of office. So those truths have to be established so that the general public will know what has been. Now, for me, like I said during the last media chat that I had, that I have immunity. I'm supposed not to be, sued for now, except on an election matter, which is either pre-election or post-election. at this time and that. But since a case has been filed against me, I need to answer and then go and defend the case. So I consulted my lawyers, my counsel, that this is what I've seen. They are the ones that have to go and defend that, which they have done. Now, judgment has been given from the lower court, the Federal High Court sitting in Akure. Fair enough. You ask, how do I feel? I feel the same way I've always been, that this distraction at least will be put to rest for now, because a whole lot of distraction for me. Haven't gone through a pre-election matter, or, well, moving out from an impeachment court, survive impeachment, when the court to actually defend that, God judgment, a survive impeachment through the court and the intervention of Mr. President, and I use this opportunity to always thank him for the leadership he's providing for the country. But then going to primary election, there's the election matter with the court and did all of that. And after the election, the election was challenged when the court. So for some reason, I've done almost 20 cases. So it's nothing new to me anymore. So I've developed a thick skin coming to that. So I don't feel anyhow other than the fact that certain distractions have just put away, because I sat down doing my work as an elected governor, and then somebody came up to, approach a court seeking some kind of clarification about necessary. So I don't feel anyhow, I feel good. Just to continue with what I'm doing for the good people of Ondo State, the primary mandate, to serve them, and all the other promises, electoral promises that are made during my campaign, to ensure that I deliver, my mandate to the people of
Governor Aiyedatiwa, if I may jump in quickly. So are you saying that you have never for once thought about the possibility that you could actually stand for a proper election, other than taking over from your predecessor, late Rotimi Akeredolu, standing for proper election for yourself on 2 different occasions? Has that never occurred to you? Are you saying you never discussed that? You never had an ambition ever? Is that what you're saying, Governor Aiyedatiwa?
I had an election. I completed an unexpired tenure of my late principal, SSU, and may so rest in peace. Yes, which is 1 year and 2 months of an expired tenure completed. Then I went into an election, and I went into a free and fair conclusive election, which I won on the 16th of November 2024. So it's still fresh. So I've never thought about any other election other than delivering on the mandate, fresh mandate that has been given to me. So that was not in my mind at all, that future election, because you have to step by step, stage by stage. Yes, even though I'm aware of the constitutional provision that talk about a deputy or a vice who completes on an expired tenure of his principal can only contest for the same position 1 time. Yes, it's there in the law. I also know that the law also talks about someone, a Nigerian, has the right to also contest for the same position, a maximum of 2 terms, which is 8 years. So these provisions are there. But I have not even gotten into that, thinking about that, because it's different. The election, was fresh. I just won an election. So all I was, preoccupied with at the time was to govern, to deliver on my mandate, dividend of democracy to the people, until somebody woke up and then begin to challenge eligibility. But then it's probably, wait a minute, this is too early. Why don't you wait till maybe 2027 or when timetable will be out of early 2038, when there will be a timetable for the off-season, off-cycle election, governorship election for those states. Maybe at that time, I might begin to think of, wait a minute, do I have the right to protest or not? Then at that time, one can begin to seek, interpretation of some of these clauses, in the Constitution.
But Governor Aiyedatiwa, because there are those within your ranks who are hopeful and are working and are also seeking legal clarity, and to the effect that you are the one who wants to get clarity. And in fact, politically speaking, people in Ondo, some people in Ondo APC are believing that you are shuffling and also punching people away. You are fighting everyone around you who seemingly have the ambition in their eyes to become governor and could contest against you. And that's the reason why some people are accusing you of political witch hunt and chasing the likes of Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, the Minister of Interior, and some of the attacks your supporters and those supporters on the other side are saying in Ondo State. How do you explain or defend yourself in the light of this when there are direct correlation between people who are around you and the act of wanting you to seek another election in 2028?
First of all, let me correct this insinuation or perception, which is very, very inaccurate, that I was chasing people away. It is not possible, because politics is a game of number. Rather, I want more people to join my party, our party, APC. Yes, some people have different interests, different notions, but the party is so big now that you can't drive or you can't chase anybody away, because new entrants are coming to the party. New people are joining us. For example, the PDP governorship candidate who contested against me in the governorship general election has defected into APC as we speak. Don't forget that he scored about 150,000 votes, which is almost a winning figure in previous governorship election for those who won governorship election in the time past, while I scored 366,781 votes, the highest ever in the history of governorship election in Ondo State. If you have such, for the fact I have such figure, that means I'm very, very popular among the people. They want me, they preferred me at the time, which is still the same right now. You can do your surveillance or you can do your opinion polls. So I'm not chasing anybody away. And there is no attack from me to anybody. The young man you just mentioned, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, Honorable Minister of Interior, I don't have any issue with him. And he does, and if you ask him, he will tell you he doesn't have any issue with me. Don't forget also that politics is laden with interest. So different people have different interests. So because interest differs, you're bound to see some kind of push and pull in politics. So it's not fair. We are members of the same family. We are all APC.
But
so there is no fight. There's no division.
Governor Aiyedatiwa,
yes.
Governor Aiyedatiwa, there were people have been killed in APC Congress, which turned bloody. And accusing fingers have been turned to people who are your supporters. There are those who are on the camp of Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo who say they cannot even come near any APC meeting because there has been a standing instruction by people in your camp for them to go away. There are those even in the camp of former Governor Olurotimi Akeredolu that they say Lucky Aiyedatiwa has literally chased them out of the party. I mean, what do you say to these people who are literally a member of the APC and they are now some kind of alien? They cannot even come close to the meetings of the party. I mean, because what you're saying now is a direct opposite of the allegations against you. And I've had them come on this program to say, you are the problem of the APC. You are not accommodating.
Maybe, maybe this is your own interpretation of some things that happened in the APC. I don't believe that any of them can say
what you have just said, that they are being chased away. Nobody, I just told that nobody chased anybody away. It is not true. You also mentioned that some people died during the Congress of APC. They did not die as a result of the Congress. That has been a problem that has been in existence within the union, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, and it happened just in Idori on the years of World Congress. It hasn't to do with the Congress whatsoever. They just hide under that situation to attack. And the attack is just among the members of National Union of Road Transport Workers. It's not, yes, they are members of APC, but it has to do with position of a chairman of unit in their garage. So it is not a Congress issue. So, and the other people that you are making claim that they are not coming for stakeholders, let me tell you, when I came on board as governor of Ondo State, I inherited a list of 10 members from each local government having stakeholders meeting. And if you multiply that by the number of local government that we have, that is 10 times 18. That is just 180 individuals having stakeholders meeting. When I came on board, I expanded the stakeholders meeting from 10 to 20 members per local government for inclusivity. Some people were still complaining that they are not captured. I increased the figure again to 30 per local government. I can tell you today that we have 60 stakeholders per local government having stakeholders meeting every quarter, APC member, and that is about 1,080 members. Where is what the claim they are making now? Where that doesn't exist. That are chasing people. Rather, I'm bringing more people into.
But Dr. Aiyedatiwa, this is not my own thinking. These are not my words. These are the words of members of your APC in Ondo State.
You can go and
I'd
check.
like you to maybe clear the air and maybe tell them tonight that you don't have anything against them, especially the supporters of Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, who came, some of them who said that you have the one chasing, and I have it on record right there on the program. Maybe you can clear the air and to tell them that you don't have anything against them. They should come back to the party.
They have not left the party. They are members of the party.
I won't collect any money from you as advert to ask them to come back to your party tonight.
Listen, Sheung, nobody have left the party. They cannot leave. There is no alternative party in Ondo State. Ondo State is APC. Ondo State is APC. We don't even have there's no alternative for them to go to. They are members. Don't forget, we just had our state congress in which they also have their own, small cells within the party. Those who believe in his own leadership, they are part of the local government ESCO, the state ESCO. So we are working together as one. But we are, yes, like I said, interests differ, and there are levels in leadership. Yes, Tunji Ojo is a leader in his own right as a minister of the Federal Republic. That is a level. I am a governor. That is another level of leadership. So there are some members of the party that believes in one person or the other. We have senators who have their own followers. We have members of the House of Representatives who have few followers as well. In their federal, we have state assembly who also have their own followers, those who believe in them. So you have that levels. Let me also let you know that today, for the first time, that we have the entire 26 members of the Ondo State House of Assembly. Today, they are all members of APC. There is no minority leader, there is no majority leader anymore. We only have leader of the House. Everybody in the State Assembly is member of APC. So where is the issue of driving people away when more people are coming to the party?
I think that you need to have a follow-ups with the minister so that everybody will know. Now you have three ministers.
Where are you talking about the minister, the minister? I don't have anything with the minister.
In Nigeria, there has three ministers.
The minister lives in Abuja.
You have now a minister of
Abuja.
State for Finance. You have a minister for Interior, all coming from Ondo State. But let me take you back to the substantive matter, Honorable Mr. Governor. And I'd like to ask you, are you considering challenging the ruling of the Court of Appeal or this decision of the Federal High Court in Akure? Are you appealing it?
Now, let me say this, Shehu. First of all, that man was not made for the Constitution, but the Constitution is made for man. And also, I took an oath, and every political leaders, both in executive, legislative, and judicial, we all took oath. And part of that oath is to defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So on that oath, we should all stand. So the judgment that was rolled out today by the judge at the Federal High Court in Akure is a judgment of the court. I have not seen it. I heard about it. The details has not been given. We will look at the details, and then my lawyers, my counsel, they will look at it. If there's room for seeking further interpretation, they will advise. I don't know for now. I cannot say yes, I cannot say no. But don't forget also that the courts, they are in different levels. And if we are to defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic, and the judiciary has created these layers, High Court, Appeal Court, and Supreme Court. And don't forget that the Supreme Court is always the final. That is a point of reference on any matter. They will say that is the authority. So you can only cite the Supreme Court as the authority on any matter. So for us to defend the Constitution so that people who might be coming later in life that might face the kind of situation we have now, there will not be any form of lacuna. So we look at all of that so that we have an authority, because this is the first time this kind of case is happening in the Constitution of Nigeria.
So, but Governor, it does look like what you are saying now is a departure from what is happening, because I've got a court document stating that there is now a notice of appeal filed by your lawyers against the judgment of the Federal High Court in Akure today. Are you not aware?
No, you are missing it. You don't have the right information. Now, let me tell you what has happened. When the case was filed against those of us who are defended, including myself, we have to respond. And at that point, there are certain proceedings that my counsel felt were not right, minor ruling, which is like, amending the initial brief by the plaintiff, and a preliminary objection was filed. And that preliminary objection, at that time, the main issue has not even been heard. So the preliminary objection was what was appealed, when the certain ruling was made by the presiding judge. That was what was appealed to the Court of Appeal. It is not the judgment of today. Those were part of the motions and preliminary objection, that the preliminary rulings that was made at the time. Don't forget that the appeal court at the time ruled in a way that the High Court judge should not proceed any further until certain areas of the law is also looked at, and before the ruling of, I think of 2 days ago, when the Court of Appeal also ruled that the High Court, can look at those matters that was appealed. And we still have one appeal was just heard yesterday also, which is another preliminary objection, and that one has not been decided upon by the Court of Appeal. But today, the High Court judge gave a ruling on the substantive matter. So that is the law. Like I said, the details of the ruling will be gotten later in the course of the week or in the course of the month, and the council will look into it. There's room. If there's any error, they will advise, and if there's none, I stay and face.
Interestingly, the notice of appeal was filed earlier today, dated 12/3/2023, 2026, and the meat of the matter in the notice of appeal and the grounds of appeal were very similar into the matter put before the Federal High Court. But let me get your view. And this is not the first time, Governor, that this matter of tenureship is being contested in court. And I avert your mind to the Supreme Court as a precedent in that matter with Marwa versus Inyako. Let me ask your own view as a Nigerian. What do you make of tenureship of a governor, a deputy governor, a president, a vice president in this case? And as you are wearing that shoe right now, what do you think the Constitution is saying? And what are your views, personal views on this matter?
My view is as is stated in the Constitution. That's my view. The Constitution is the ground rule. As it is stated, that is the way it's supposed to be. And the interpretation lies in the hands of the judiciary. That is why when somebody wins an election, some people feel, they need to contest it. So that is the way it is. The Constitution is there. It's the guiding book. And those who are saddled with the responsibility to interpret the Constitution, we always I'm not a lawyer, so they were the one that will look into it and then give advice on what should be done. So.
Yeah, Governor, the relevant section of the Constitution to that respect is Section 137. And I read subsection 3, which also says, quote, a person who was sworn in as president, in this case, when we talk about executive office, very similar in interpretation. A person who was sworn in as president to complete a term for which another person was elected as president shall not be elected to such office for more than a single term. You are being sworn in to complete Akeredolu's tenure, and you've been able to contest on your own for one term. The Constitution is saying you may not be eligible to contest again more than one single term. Do you accept that kind of verdict?
That is the Constitution, and I have not presented myself for another election. I said that at the beginning. I've just been sworn in about a year ago, precisely 24th of February 2025, and 24th of February 2026 was just exactly 1 year that I was sworn in as governor of Ondo State. So I have not presented myself for any election. I have not, fill any form for election. I have not campaigned. I have not shown. There's no timetable. There's nothing. So that particular scenario doesn't even occur at all. So it's not a thought in my mind. All I was facing is just to govern, to deliver to the people of Ondo State all our electionary promises. And that's exactly what we are doing. And we are doing well, for that matter, by the grace of God. So all of these court cases, they are just distractions that are not necessary. Distractions.
But Governor Aiyedatiwa, if the ruling stands at the end of the day, if it's taken to the highest court in the land and it stands in your favor in 2028, would you be in the next step? Would it be in the next step of your political journey after this tenure to run for governor again?
Let me do this. If I impress the people so well and they ask me to continue, if the law permits, why not? A service to the people. Let them appraise what I'm doing currently. Let the people tell the story about what this administration of mine and my deputy have been able to do for the people. Then they will now decide whether we should continue if the law permits. But for now, the distraction has just been put away from me because it was all distraction. I never saw it coming. I didn't prepare for it. All I was doing just to govern. All of a sudden, I was sued, and I have to hire lawyers to defend me. And part of the defense was saying, you don't have a right to sue me. I have immunity. But since the court has ruled, well, we face it and see what happens going forward.
Governor Aiyedatiwa, uneasy Eliza Ed that wears the cap. You know how uneasy it is, but I wish you very well in the administration and the governance of Ondo State, and also its politics, because they are all tied together. But thank you so much indeed for clarifying these issues for us tonight.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you for having me.